Friends, in this video we are going to discuss how to handle assessments, audit and inspection under GST. Primarily there are 5 sections under which these can take place. Section 61, 64, 65, 66 or 67. Most of used out of these sections would be section 61, which is akin to 143(3) of Income Tax Act, a scrutiny of the returns. But in GST it is used very often, and all these notices which are flowing across the country are issued under the authority of section 61. You call it 3A versus 2B, 3B versus 1, or excess ITC utilization, high ITC utilization. So in case the officer who is scrutinizing the return at the back office, he finds any deficiency in the return or anything which can make him suspicious of the return, he can initiate a scrutiny under section 61 by giving a notice to the assessee. Now, many a times these notices come with a timeline of 1 day, 3 days, 7 days. But the time period for the assessee to reply to this ASMT 10 notices is 1 month, and if required, a higher period also. Now, this ASMT 10 has to be replied while ASMT 11. This is not the end of the story. Till this, we have all done. However, 61(3) specifically states that in case the officer is satisfied by such a reply, he must close the case, and the case is closed by ASMT 12. I am very sure, and to whatever extent I have seen for all the clients of us, ASMT 12 is not being issued by the department. Now, what are the consequences of non-issue of ASMT 12? It means that the officer may or may not be satisfied with the reply. And if the officer is not satisfied with the reply, without any time limit, except for the time barring period, he might initiate audit under 65, 66 or an inspection under 67. Therefore, the first thing to do now is to follow up with the department to reply and to get the replies under ASMT 12 for closure of the case in case the department is satisfied by the reply under ASMT 11. Mind that under GST Act, suppression has been specifically defined for the first time under section 74, second explanation, and suppression includes, mind that suppression includes non-disclosure of any figure in the return. I am very sure many of us would not have disclosed blocked credit under 17(5) or exempt income in GSTR 3B at least for few months. This would tantamount to suppression and would have the effect of invoking a larger period of limitation of 5 years 9 months. Now, in effect, what happens is you have replied to the ASMT 10 by ASMT 11. The department has got all the figures in hand and it has got 5 years 9 months to act on those figures. Not only this, in case due to these figures the department has reason to believe that there is a suppression, contravention or evasion under the GST Act, then they can also initiate inspection under 67(1) of the GST Act. What is reason to believe? Reason to believe has been defined by the Supreme Court as having a direct link to the facts of the case. Now, in this case, when you have replied by ASMT 11, you have given a clear reason to believe to the department for any evasion, suppression or contravention under the Act, and the department would have got 5 years 9 months to carry out an inspection for that year. So as of now, the most important thing in assessments in GST is to follow up with the department and ask them to provide ASMT 12 to all the replies which are made in ASMT 11. Another draconian assessment provision is section 64. We all remember in the year 90s sometime when there was summary assessments under Income Tax Act. The same summary assessments, in fact more harsh provisions are there in GST Act under section 64. Here there is no order. Here there is no show cause. There is a direct order if the department has got evidence that there is any contravention, suppression or evasion. Again, in case you have given a reply in ASMT 11, that can act as an evidence under Indian Evidence Act for the department to invoke a summary assessment, and through a summary assessment the department directly gives an order under section 64 for protection of interest of the revenue. Not only this, again an inspection can be ordered, as I had already said, the department has got a reason to believe and not just a reason to suspect any suppression, contravention or evasion under the Act. Therefore, assessments from now, they have to be very, very carefully handled under the GST Act. Audit under the GST Act is under 65 and 66. Under section 66, again, if you give a no reply under ASMT 11 of void section 61, then department can invoke a special audit under section 66 for two reasons. If they find there is a fault in the valuation, or even if they suspect that there is a fault in the valuation or an excess ITC has been claimed, and the department can invoke a special audit with the powers of some senior officers. Section 65 audit gives specific powers to the commissioner to invoke audit at the premises of the assessee at such frequency as may be determined. Therefore, a section 65 now takes care of all the old service tax cases and the judgments whereby the department was debarred from coming to the office or the factory of the assessee in the case of mega cabs or Travelite, etc. Hence, friends, to sum up, section 61 would be most used section, scrutiny of returns under GST, and notices have already been flying. It would be flying thick and thin, replying to such notices, and once again the process of sanitization every month in GST is very, very important to deal with any assessment at any point of time in GST. Every month we must reconcile minimum 3B versus 1, 2A versus 3B. In fact, in the new returns, you cannot avail any input tax credit until it reflects in your GSTR 2A. Therefore, the new returns would, as it is, compel the assessees to reconcile that 2A versus 3B on a continuous and a live basis. It is better we start sanitizing our books as far as GST is concerned on a regular or a monthly basis from now, so that we are ready for any situation. Consistency, as I say, is the quality of the unimaginative. Let us consistently sanitize our books to handle assessments and do the impossible under GST. Thank you very much.